What's up, guys? Welcome to the Metal Roofing channel. I'm Thad Barnette. If you're an architect, you're probably very familiar with using BIM and BIM Object in your drawings. Today, we're gonna talk about how to use BIM with Sheffield Metals products for metal roofing design. Today, I've got Wendy from the Sheffield Metals Architectural Department. Thanks for being here, Wendy.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about BIM and how BIM Object can be helpful when it comes to metal roofing and standing seam design specifically.
Sure. Well, metal panels have to fit perfectly. And the great thing about BIM is that it is 3D modeling. So it makes sure that everything is going to fit perfectly once it's drawn in. And it's real easy for architects to do. Basically, it's just a drag and drop. You download the files, you put it into your drawings, and it works out great because then the contractors on site, there's no more guesswork. They're saving time, they're getting through the project, fewer delays, but it really just is a great collaboration between the architect and the contractors and the installers when it comes to using the BIM with the metal panels.
Awesome, and BIM's been around, but this is new for Sheffield, right? So why did Sheffield decide to invest in BIM Object now?
Well, our goal is to get rid of friction, right? We want to make things as seamless and as easy as possible for our architects to go ahead and put metal panels into their design, especially Sheffield, right? So what we've done is we've continued that commitment to the architectural world, making sure that they have everything that they need, exact drawings, exact, panels, everything they're going to need to make sure that they're able to put exactly what they need on their building.
Awesome. So, and we've actually got BIM Object pulled up here. Right. We also have the Sheffield Metals Architectural Hub, which I'll show you in a second. But let's talk about the assets that Sheffield has available on BIM now and kind of what that looks like. Let's start over here at the Sheffield Architect Hub that I got to at sheffieldmetals.com and clicked on the Architect Hub here. I scroll down and now we can see BIM directly integrated into the site. So what are we looking at here?
So there's a couple different ways that you can get to this on our website. If you scroll up just a bit, you'll see where it says BIM Library. So you can connect through there. And that's going to bring up the 4 main profiles that we have on BIM. So you see the SMI 1.5 mechanical seam, the SMI snap lock, the SMI 1.75 snap lock, and then the SMI 2-inch mechanical seam. Once you go in there, you're able to download those 3D drawings. And again, it's just a drag and drop. So once it's downloaded, you can just go ahead and put it right into your drawing package. Once you get into BIM, you can actually find all of our installation panels or our installation manuals. You can find our color chip panels, you can find our clits and cleats. So everything is basically right there in BIM for you.
Okay, yeah, so walk me through how to find everything if I'm looking on BIM Object because it's a marketplace, right? So tell me how to find Sheffield products.
So you can actually just type in Sheffield.
Okay.
And it should come right up for you. So it's right there in the front.
Perfect.
And then you can just click on any one of those. Okay. And there's our homepage there. So there's videos on there that you also find those videos on our metal roofing channel. You have all of the different substrates that the metal panels can go over, the engineering system, and all of those are downloadable.
Awesome.
So you can keep all those in your files.
So then if I click on one of these products here, what information is available to me as well?
So you're gonna find all of the testing that has been done, all of the engineering behind the panels. That way you're gonna be able to meet all of your building codes as well. So depending on where the panels are going, depending on the location, whether it's a coastal region, whether it's inland, high wind loads, things like that, all of that engineering is going to be on these drawings for you.
So now that Sheffield has 4 profiles on BIM Object, what value does that provide to architects when it comes to their workflow?
This is going to save them a ton of time, right? So they're not doing any of the drawing manually like they would do with a typical CAD drawing, right? So CAD is 2-dimensional, where BIM is more of a 3D, right? So this is going to save them a lot of time when it comes to designing their project, less errors, because once you change one thing within your design, BIM will automatically change it across the entire project, right? So you're not missing anything. Everything gets done in real time. The other great thing is that it's more than just one person can work on the drawings. So all of your demographics, so whether it's the architects, the construction people, the installers, they're all able to see the drawings, and if any of those changes get made, it gets made in real time.
Oh, wow.
And if it affects anything that the engineers are working on, the engineers can then go ahead and make those changes as well. So they don't have to hold meetings. They don't have to send out a ton of emails. It's all done right then and there.
Gotcha. So when we're looking at the BIM Marketplace here in Sheffield's page, we've got 2 mechanical locks here and 2 snap locks. You know, why did Sheffield choose these 4 particular products to put into BIM?
So these are our most popular, and these are what you're going to see on probably 80 to 90% of projects. They have all of the engineering behind them. So this is the ones that our technical team has done all of the engineering, and they've been on numerous install sites, so where they've installed these panels, right? And they've been on so many different projects to where they've seen what can go wrong, which is then where it comes back to that engineering, right? So they've done all of that testing. And these are the 4 that we call our 4 main workhorses.
Gotcha, yeah, and not to mention hundreds of weather-tight warranty jobs as well.
Right.
So you mentioned multiple different people can have access to the BIM products. So when it comes to architects and code compliance and structural considerations, you know, how does BIM help in those situations?
Our files include all the technical data to make sure, you know, like the dimensions of the panels, wind uplift ratings, fire ratings, things like that. That way the architects can know for sure that the product that we are supplying will meet all of those codes.
Okay, and let's dive into BIM a little bit more. You know, maybe I'm not as familiar with BIM and this might be my first time. You know, do you have any practical tips for me getting used to it?
Well, first and foremost, download the files from a trusted source, right? So whether you're getting them from the Sheffield Metals Architect Hub, or if you're getting them from BIM Object, make sure that you're getting those files from a reliable source. That way you also know that you're getting the most up-to-date version of those drawings as well. Do your research. Make sure that you're looking at a trusted supplier. And then by all means, if you ever have any questions, our technical team is always there to help out.
Let's talk about the future outlook of BIM. You know, is there any myths or misconceptions that people have about it when it comes to just general drawings?
Yeah, so I think the biggest misconception people have is that it's for the larger, more complex projects like universities or hospitals, where there's so many different nuances to it, but it can actually be used for any project, big or small. And it's really just a time saver for the architects, the designers, the contractors, everybody involved.
So how do you see BIM continuing to evolve in the metal roofing industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, BIM has been a game changer when it comes to seeing what a project's going to look like in realistic terms, right? Being able to walk through the building and seeing all the different things. I think also in the roofing industry that sometimes that roofing package gets overlooked. There's a lot of engineering that goes behind the panels. It's not just a matter of putting a metal roof onto plywood and calling it a day and being done. So, I mean, you really have to figure out what seam you want, what gauge you want, you know, how wide the panels need to be. In my opinion, I feel like BIM is going to be able to make that collaboration in the long run.
Yeah, and not to mention, you know, metal has so many different color options and design factors as well. Being able to do walkthroughs and kind of see, you know, from every angle in real time, all those different types of colors depending on what you're looking for, I think could be really helpful as well.
Right. I mean, the roof has to fit. Right? So if you want to change the color, like you said, and make sure that it's going to match the building or the surrounding or the atmosphere that you're looking at is where this is going, right? So being able to change that color and making sure that you have what works for you.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, as we kind of wrap up here about BIM, you know, what would you like to say to architects who might be considering metal roofing and design or who are already designing with metal when it comes to Sheffield and the architectural department here?
There's so many different nuances when it comes to metal roofing. And if you are already using metal roofing, you know, I strongly urge you to look at the option of on-site roll forming, right? So that's one of the things that Sheffield Metals prides ourselves on. We offer on-site roll forming rather than the pre-formed panels. But being able to do that roll forming on-site, right, that gives you more control of your project as well as the product, right? So if anything goes wrong on-site, you're able to just go ahead and make that panel right then and there rather than having to wait for a pre-formed panel to come on site. So So being able to have that on-site roll forming and just kind of change the way of thinking, right? Think outside of the box.
Sure.
Instead of having those preform panels, look into the option of on-site roll forming.
Did we miss anything when it comes to BIM or anything else you wanted to cover?
My biggest thing is, we have a really strong technical team, and we've done a lot of engineering behind our panels. We've gone through all of the testing, we've gone through all of the research. We're the trusted supplier, and that's the one thing that we want to make sure that our customers, our clients, our architects, that they understand that we're here, and this is what we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Wendy. I really appreciate the info.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please comment down below or visit SheffieldMetals.com and click on that Architect Hub button for more information. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Thad Barnette. We'll catch you next time.